This is the weekly Terry. This is the time of the week. Every week we get to go scour through Terry Matalas' tweets and incessantly bother him about updates until he threatens to unfollow us and block us on Twitter. But we still got updates for you this week. And and there's some doozies. And it's all relating to Picard Season 3, the final season.
Yeah, we were bugging him about some other stuff, but we have a couple questions out there that he's contemplating getting back to us on, and we want to hear the story about how he ended up coming back to Star Trek. I think that would be an interesting story. So hopefully he's working on that for us. But we did get some questions out there, and so do you want to go through his tweets here real quick?
Yes, we do. Okay, so this is what we got. This from Captain Jack over at Trek Central. He asked a question. He said, "Hey Terry, how you doing? Not sure if this has been asked before, but will Star Trek Picard Season 3 include any references or mentions of Deep Space Nine?" And he responded with, "No Iconians."
Which is actually important because we wanted to rule that out.
Did I lose the reference? No, okay. So there's more here too.
Yeah, there's more to it. Yeah.
I was gonna be like, did he just respond? "No Iconians, leave me alone." No. So he said. So they have this long conversation. He goes, "Look, there's no Iconians, and no Remans, and Remans that's like the offshoot of the Vulcans, right?"
Yeah. Well, the Reman. Well, they're the offshoot of the Romulans.
Oh, I'm sorry, Romulans, which by proxy is an offshoot of the Vulcans, right? Anyway, So he said no Iconians and no Remans, and that actually throws a little bit of a wrench in one of my personal fan theories on how they're going to deal with. I really want to see the Iconians. I want. Look,
you've been saying this for a long time.
Look, since before we started YouTube, can you please wrap up the Iconians storyline?
I'm afraid for them to. No, I'm afraid because look what happened to Gary Seven's storyline.
Oh, but that was done poorly, though. I feel like Terry Matalas would do it right. All I'm saying is, like, they've had multiple references to this race of beings in multiple shows, and then nothing.
Yeah, Gary. The whole. Yeah, I think it would be better. I think Star Trek Discovery might actually address it.
Yeah, Star Trek Discovery is probably going to do it, and we're going to be very upset by it, I'm sure.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. But it's interesting. He says we're going to be dealing. So basically, what he ended up answering was that they're going to be addressing going to see some other classic aliens that we haven't seen in a while.
Yes,
in the show.
So after he said no Iconians and no Remans, he did say there will be some other classic aliens back we haven't seen in a while. Real quick, Archmage said Remans aren't an offshoot of Romulans. They're another race that lives inside the Empire. Yes, you're right. My bad. I guess they lived inside their system. And Discovery is doing Iconians. Well, we don't know that yet. We think that they're doing Iconians, and we hope they aren't. but we think they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what classic aliens have we not seen for a while?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say because it's like when you look back at Trek, I mean, we saw the Gorn, so we know it's not going to be any Gorn.
And the Gorn.
What important classic aliens? I think it's going to be a surprise to us. I think we're going to go, oh, I forgot about those guys. Or I forgot about those aliens. It's not going to be any of the ones that we've seen recently on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, right?
Yeah, we've seen a
There
bunch.
won't be any antenna friends.
No Andorians. I mean, we might see those, but like what he's teasing is classic aliens we haven't seen in a while. So, I mean, if that's the case, there are some, but we have seen a lot in recent Strange New Worlds and Discovery. We've actually seen a ton of them. So he might be referencing. I like the idea of the Binars. I mean, I don't like the race, but I like the idea of revisiting them. And, there's some other really cool races. And I think that the villain of this season is actually a race we haven't seen before in a long time. But I don't want to blow that because I think we're doing a video on that at some point.
I hope so.
And I'm trying to stop talking.
Yeah.
But I do think that the main antagonist of this final season is part of a race we haven't seen in a while.
All right, fair enough.
And I just stepped through that minefield of not giving anything away. I was like, nice. Expertly done. In my mind, I'm like, good job, Brian. In reality, I'm like,
I just hope it's not some periphery aliens like that we saw. I hope it's something with some meat and potatoes, some aliens that we have some backstory on.
Dude, I want to see a return to the half white, half black face aliens.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
But now they're just gray.
they've all intermingled.
They've all intermingled, so they're all just gray aliens.
That's hilarious.
That'd be hilarious, though, right? That'd be sort of genius.
Yeah, kind of.
Right? I mean, what do they say? They said that people always say that at some point we're all just gonna be one color, right?
Yep, just a shade of brown.
Just some shade of tan somewhere.
Yeah, Terry, of course, I think 12 Monkeys came to a finale recently, right?
Not recently, but it did come to a finale.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of commenting about that. I want to go and watch that all the way through next. And you guys should get excited about Picard season 3. I know we're still a ways out. We'll keep dropping some Terry news as it comes out. But I feel like it's going to be good, man.
Yeah, I actually do think I think Archmage is right. I think the Breen are part of this. If you watch the trailer, the guys or the aliens that are shooting at Crusher, they look like from that really quick screenshot frame, it looks like they could be the Breen. They have the like, I can totally see that as being the Brain, but we only see him so quickly it's very hard to tell. I don't think we're gonna see Tellarites again. Maybe in passing, but I don't think we'll see them.
As long as it's not those guys from Voyager.
Because there's Tellarites in Lower Decks. Which guys? Oh, you mean the Kazon?
The Kazon.
Oh my God,
Kazon.
Dude! How much of a
let it be the Kazon.
How much of a god would Terry be if he brought the Kazon back and actually made them awesome instead of the worst possible race in the history of science fiction?
Impossible to make them awesome. They're forever. They need to be forgotten.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the Kazon? Am I the only person? Okay. If you are forgetting this ridiculous race of aliens, quick tangent. People complain about modern Star Trek. They're like, modern Star Trek is not written well. It's poorly. They have all these problems with like how it wouldn't work scientifically and how this doesn't make sense. And a lot of those points are valid. In fact, we've been those people too. We've criticized it. But you cannot criticize modern Trek and then uplift legacy Star Trek with characters like this. Like, look at this ridiculous, stupid alien. And to make it worse,
well, it's not that they look stupid as much as, I mean, that's part of it, but
right,
their situation.
Right. To make it worse, yeah, they look stupid, but they are somehow space-faring, warp-capable civilization with the IQ, with a room temperature IQ, and no ability to get water on their own.
Yeah, that was tough.
Like, oh my God, this has got to be the worst race in the history of Star Trek in general. And I gotta say, even though they were in Voyager's still my favorite show. So
right.
you can like things about a show and dislike things about a show and still overall like the show. Remember that. I think we've lost that. Like, the second a show pisses you off, people are like, "Oh, I'm done." They just walk away. Like, we're in this weird place. Like, fans can't be fans anymore because like they're trying to pick a side versus like actually be a fan of something. Again,
Yeah.
worst race in history of science fiction is the Kazon.
I have another Terry thing here. So after he made that comment about safety not being guaranteed, I know we talked about that last week on the Terry show. He basically said, safety not guaranteed for any of the TNG people coming back, and we were like wondering if Picard's going to die, right? This person on Twitter said, at Terry Matalas, I know you're trying to be funny and have tweets about season 3 of Picard, but TNG literally saved my life, and Troy and Riker are my heart. So making jokes about killing the cast are not funny and actually just cruel. Okay, so I just want to be really clear. That is what's wrong with Twitter.
That's what's wrong.
100%.
Yeah.
That is what's wrong. There are human beings out there that think this way, and I do not understand. Listen, these are not real people.
You are not the main character of this movie.
Well, they're not real, okay? They're not real people, okay? So here was Terry's response. I'm very glad TNG was there for you when you most needed it. It was there for me as well. I never made a joke about killing the cast. I said safety not guaranteed. I bet that in some of your favorite TNG stories, their lives were in danger. That does tend to be part of the drama. So it really makes me sad here that Terry had to walk this back. It was a whole heck of a lot more interesting thinking that he might kill somebody. But because a fan was upset or somebody was upset that he said it, he had to walk it back. This is a problem with social media. Nobody has to apologize for what you say, okay? Especially when there's no actual mean intention or cruelty about it whatsoever. You don't need to apologize for it. And him walking it back, basically he's saying, I mean, now, and just knowing Terry, I doubt anybody's going to be killed in season 3 because now he's saying they're in danger to make it part of the drama. So, he had to take away some of that, which is a little disappointing for me.
Yeah.
And, what I would say to Terry is, these people are going to put this stuff out here. You don't have to make them feel better. It's not your job to make people on Twitter feel better, Terry. Let them deal with their own stuff. Be kind, as you always are, and as we always are. But some questions maybe just don't need to be answered.
Yeah. These people annoy me so much. Not only are they obviously overtly, either they're so sensitive that I'm surprised they're able to function in real life, or they're literally just putting type onto screen on the internet for some kind of clout or attention. And let me tell you,
maybe
you're not the main character of this story. You are a peon in the grand scheme, in the grand tapestry. No one can even see you. And I cannot believe for a minute that a person like that in real life goes throughout their real life that sensitive. I can't believe for a minute. And if that's the case, then they need mental, clearly they need like a psychiatrist. They need mental help because no one can possibly be offended by that. It's the silliest, stupidest nonsense I have ever seen on Twitter until 5 minutes later when I see something else. And then 5 minutes later, I can't believe it, man. So no way people on social media are that sensitive in real life. No way.
I mean, they called him cruel for the comment. I mean, it's like you're right. They don't have a sense of reality, or something's not clicking. If you think he's being cruel and that he's joking about it, then it's possible that they just don't understand. Maybe they put the wrong. I don't know. It was pretty obvious to the rest of us. So
in the 90s, you guys remember this? In the 90s, we used to call people that talked a lot of trash online, we used to call them e-thugs, right?
Right.
Well, now there's a new word. E-victims.
E-victims are the e-thugs?
Yeah. So we used to have e-thugs. Like, we used to have, like, a 15-year-old getting on there playing Counter-Strike or whatever. They're like, yo, you're nothing. I'm gangster. The e-thugs, right? The keyboard warriors. Well, now it's a bunch of e-victims. Everyone crying about how they're offended or they're upset or don't joke about this or don't joke about that or don't use that word or how dare you or use this correct pronoun. All right. Maybe you don't have the mental acuity to be online then. If you're a victim of everything, then my friend, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here because you are not strong enough mentally to not get offended by Terry freaking Matalas. That's crazy. Nicest person that I've ever seen in Hollywood. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Well said. And that was your Weekly Terry.
The Weekly Terry. Hey, subscribe and like on the way to the comment section. Let us know what you guys think. Were you offended by Terry's insensitive comments? Let us know. Comment section below.
Let us know.
Let us know.